This is Senior Snare Drum Solo number 2 by Mike Sartini. The metronome is labeled dotted quarter note equals 56, so I'm going to put my metronome at 168 so I can hear the 8th note subdivision. Okay, let's talk our way through the etude. In order to keep things simple, for all of the rolls, at this tempo, I'm using a 16th note triplet subdivision. So in the first measure, we have a dotted quarter note roll. That's 3 8th notes, so I'm doing a 9-lit. So I'm starting with my left hand. So, right. So that's my hand speed. For every roll in the piece, I'm going to use that speed, except for a spot on line 4, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So we have nice mezzo forte. Don't overplay yet. You've got a lot of room to go higher and lower in this piece, so don't start too loud. So we have the opening bar. 1, 2, 3, triplet, triplet, triplet. Those 3 flams are not accented and at mezzo forte, so don't overplay them because there's a lot of space. Then Sartini gives us this idea in a couple spots in this piece where we have a little sort of over the bar line polymeter thing. So the initial theme here, we're in 9/8 time, so 3 + 3 + 3. But the little figure we have here now is in 5, so it works over a couple of bars to work itself back out. And this is at fortissimo. All right, so dot, da, da, bija. That's our little cell, and then we play that 3 times and then one more to come out. Okay, and again, because I'm doing triplet-based rolls, those quarter note rolls are 6 tuplets. Then the next roll's also doing as 6s. Now I'm starting at piano, and I'm only coming back up to forte, so when you come back up, it's got to be a little bit less. Then we have this little flam figure. The flam is not an accent. This is not a flamming cue. 6 tuplet down to piano. For the next 2 bars, you could do this a couple of different ways. It is slow enough that you could do all the 16th notes with one hand and then just drop in the grace notes. But it sounds a little mechanical like that. If you are able to do that consistently, then great, go for that. Just for my go around here, I'm just doing everything hand to hand. And again, none of those flams are accented, so the 16th note layer needs to be even. We're just adding ornaments on it, so I'll do that one more time. And we're back up to forte, and then we have another little polymeter thing. So here's our little cell. Right, so that's the cell, and then it works its way over the meter. Right, and then you have 1 and a 2 and a 3, or 7 and an 8 and a 9, and that 9 has a housetop accent on it, marcato. Dead center in the drum, a lot of weight. Then 2-beat roll, again, triplet here, so I'm doing 9 plus 9. And then you're down to piano. Make sure that you don't start the roll with an accent. It's just at forte. So the note you played before is a housetop accent at forte, and then the roll is just forte, not accented. So don't go... Right, so give yourself some forte and then decrescendo down. Then the next bar, we have the detached quarter note rolls. I'm doing those as groups of 4, but I'm buzzing the last note, so it's not... There shouldn't be a release. The last note you play has to be a buzz. And then just a little bit of detachment there. Then the last beat, I'm starting with my right hand. 8th note roll triplet. And then there's your release. Right, so those 2 bars, 1, ready, go. Now, the way the next 2 bars work, because I want to come out on my right hand at a certain spot, the next 2 bars, and because I'm playing all the rolls as 9-lets here, I'm going to start the next 2 bars with my left hand and then just play hand to hand all the way through. So with so the roll skeleton without the buzzes. I come out on the right hand there. So with the buzzes, and I'm overplaying the accents a little bit just to show you, but it is still at piano. All that's at piano, then back up to forte. No accents, perfectly even, and only at forte. You still have fortissimos to go, so don't get too loud there. So if I string that whole phrase together. Okay, next phrase, now we have one hand on the rim. It's kind of like a drum setty kind of part, or like your right hand's on the hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Nice and even. You can give a little 1% tiny push at the beginning of each grouping if you want to. Just a little agogic accent so that we hear where the beat is. Then the left hand has the melody part, so you can't play the left hand softer than the right hand. Has to be the other way around. And this part, that's the part you're really going to have to practice here. Right? Then the next bar, then we have these one-hand buzzes. 8th note, 8th note, 8th note, 8th note, 8th note, 16th note on the last buzz. I'm just talking about the buzz notes. Even though that last note is notated as a 16th because we have the bar line coming up, try to make that buzz as long as possible and the same length as all the other buzzes. And I'm trying to make all those buzzes as long as I can. All right, so the whole rim phrase. You're going to get little rim nicks on your sticks. That's okay. When you play the rim, I'm not playing right on the tip because I don't want to bust the tip off the stick accidentally. So scooch up an inch or two and play a little bit coming into the shoulder here. Okay, the next lick. This is the single hardest measure in the piece, in my opinion. So now we're at forte, and we have a large hand-to-hand, large and extended hand-to-hand and accent pattern. So the first lick, I'm going to slow this way down. All right, first beat's not too bad. Then we have an accent sequence with a sticking sequence. So what Sartini has asked us to do here is play all the accents with the right hand and all the unaccented notes with the left hand. And the pattern here is 5, 5, 7, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Right, so the 5s are 2 plus 3, and the 7s are 2 plus 2 plus 3. So slowly here, starting from beat 2. The whole bar. So now up to a little bit closer to tempo. Okay, the trick here, the difficulty, or the skill demonstration here is when you have the group of 3 that has the double left, is to keep that left hand even, and it's not a diddle. It's not. Right, so don't rush that left. All right, so one more time, back up to speed. Right, and again, fortissimo, so you're gonna be nice and big there. Then in the next bar, the first beat is more or less the same, but I'm making one sticking change. I'm doing a double right at the end of beat 1, so that I have an open left hand to do the drag on beat 2. Right, and notice the difference between the 30-seconds and the 16th notes at the end of that bar. Don't play the 16ths as if they're 30 seconds. You got to slow back down. Then we have a caesura, railroad tracks. I'm choosing to interpret that just to keep things simple. I'm interpreting that as 2 empty beats. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're back at the recap. Right, that's perfectly fine. You can think of it metrically in time like that. You don't have to treat it as a unmetered fermata. You can just put some time in there, and then you can just keep thinking through in time. Then we have the recap. Still at mezzo forte. Right, don't overplay any of those notes. It's only mezzo forte, even though you have lots of space and you have time to wind up. Don't do that. Then the rolls again, piano to forte. Then pianissimo roll. This is two groups of 9s. And then the final lick, which ends with a house top accent. So what I'm phrasing here, I'm thinking da, 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 and then the roll plus the last 5 notes is one phrase. So it's not this. You gotta go do the roll and then add 4 notes and go to the last note. All right, so that's the etude. Let's go through it one more time. Again, I'll have my metronome set on 168 so I can hear the 8th note subdivision.